Welcome, everybody, to our first ever episode. This is the Get Aligned podcast, where we cover topics and answer your questions to help you align your real estate business with success. All right, well, I am here with my partner, my friend, my golf buddy, the one, the only founder of Align, Brett Sikora. What's going on, brother?
What's up, man? Thanks for having me on this incredible podcast.
Thanks for having me on this podcast. We're starting something new here today, right? It's just fun. I think we're something we've been toying with and playing with for a while is this kind of like educational, like what do we do? How do we do it? Like what can we provide back to the real estate world of agents that are both with us and not with us, right? Like just talking about some things that we do well. So we're here getting ready to go to eXpcon.
Yeah.
Right? We're getting out of here, going to Miami Saturday, Sunday, going to be away for a few days. One of us at this table might love real estate conferences. One of us may not love real estate conferences. We'll let the audience figure out who's who in a little bit. But look, I think a key to it is going the right way too. So we're gonna talk a little bit today about like why you should be going, but like how to also optimize your experience there. So you're not just wasting your time if you're that person that doesn't really want to go anyway.
Right. Yeah, no, it's a good call. And there is like a lot of prep work that I would imagine goes into them and doing, and just so everybody's aware, I'm the guy that doesn't really care.
He doesn't like them. It's just, I really like them. And he likes them less.
This is my first eXpcon ever.
Oh.
And I've been with the company for 5 years.
Okay.
So that gives you a good...
But you also had 2 kids in the last 5 years. Like
they also pay me to go too, and I still don't go. Right. No, I'm joking. But there's like that Icon Award.
Yeah, I go for, I mean, it's a free trip if you're an Icon agent, right? They give you the was it 2,000, I think it's now for this back in stock option. So it's like a free roll. There's no reason not to go, but in my opinion. But let's get into it a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about why I think, a little bit of the backstory to me of why these conferences are important to me is when I first got into real estate, Dan Boringer was a huge proponent of getting everyone to RE/MAX ones. And the RE/MAX ones were very similar to eXpcon, very like big, keynotes and breakouts and everything. All those people that he pushed real hard to get there and that went are like all the guys and girls who are still in the business strong today, right? So I think there is something about these events that really does help set the tone for your business and really help grow as well.
I think if you are committed and you go to them like you or like everybody that we've seen kind of going to these, they're never the shitty agents. No. It's always people that are like showing up. So that is a good testament to
absolutely,
to what's happening at these conferences, or just the mindset of an agent that wants to be a better version of themselves.
Totally, man. That's what I think. So I think I'm going to run through a couple points here. We can rip on them real quick about why to go, right? So I think the first thing, like, you just got to sharpen your skills in this world. Like you got to learn, you got to stay up with the times. If not, like you're just going to fall behind. New prospecting ideas, new scripts, new marketing ideas. Like this is where you learn those from the best people in the country.
Right. No, totally. And that too is like, and honestly, I think this is what kind of broke the conference idea for me. Like I used to go to a lot. Zoom and the collaboration, the way that everybody's like playing together too, it gets you that information like instantly. And also being on YouTube, like where this will be, is going to get you the information on what to do at a conference instantly. But no, that's like, a big part of it. And I know that eXpcon today, like I heard last year, did you go last year or no? I heard it was incredible.
It was really good
compared to what had happened the years prior.
Evolved. It's definitely evolved.
So I'm definitely excited to see what they're going to bring like heat wise on this go around. But yeah, I think from the cutting, like the keynote speakers that come into these too, a lot of times they're outside of our industry. And that brings like a lot of really good valuable.
Itzler's doing a keynote. And I saw him speak somewhere else. This dude brings a MC and a DJ. And has a soundtrack to his keynote that he's charging back and forth in like gym sneakers. You want to run through a wall. Like, like the old Vince Lombardi speeches, like Notre Dame and all the Green Day, and like just get you jacked up. Like you can literally run through a wall after Itzler speaks. He's the founder of like the coconut water brand Next Jets, right? He's married to Sarah Blakely. Thank you. One girl in the room gives his name. She's a Spanx girl.
Oh, there you go.
So they're like just totally different industry.
Yeah.
But ridiculous keynote speaker. So like things like that are.
That's his wife.
Yeah.
The Spanx founder.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah, they're married for 30 years or whatever, and came up together. Both built those businesses from scratch.
Yeah.
And that keynote's great. Like he does a really good job of that one. So
I love it.
So that was actually another one I had on my list of getting energized, right? Coming back, like you come back for these conferences, I'm ready to get like after it. You really have that rejuvenation and like excitement comes out of you a lot. Another big thing that I'm not as good as this, but my partner in crime, my wife, Red, has never gone to a conference and not 5x the return by referral she got from somebody
Yeah.
at that thing. Like if you're personable and you work the room right,
Yeah.
and just make friends and just be like, if you're that kind of person,
Yeah.
you cannot go to one of these without getting a referral within 12 months. That's going to pay 5x from what you spent going to those things. I think that's a really big piece. And one last thing I think it's really important to go is being around the right people. You kind of alluded to this already. Like the people there are not brand new agents usually, maybe some, but if they are, they're really motivated.
Yeah.
They're people that are really like hell-bent on building their business.
Yep.
And just being around those people. I mean, we've been doing podcasts for a couple hours today with other agents. And one thing they talked about of being in this organization is being around the right people on a day-to-day basis. This is like that next level of that, bringing all the top people from organizations even around into one room together to really crush. So anything else that I left off my list that you think?
No, I mean, I think that so it's funny. So my first conference in the world of real estate was 2009, summer of 2009. I went to a Mike Ferry event. That's when I got into Mike Ferry coaching, and David DeVoe and I went together. And I remember, so again, you talk about the two different people at conferences. He was a big conference guy too.
Yeah.
So he's going to this conference, going back to his room, taking notes. We're sharing a room, studying things, doing this and that, the other thing. Didn't want to go to dinner with anybody. Didn't want to network. Was really focused on what he was learning from there. And then I was at a David Copperfield show by myself that night. Just really digesting everything I had learned that day through some magic.
That's awesome.
But that's just a perfect example of like the two different styles of this whole thing.
Yeah.
And I think that, to your point, I'm more of a red.
Yeah.
Where like I can get to the conference, whether I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, I'm more of an introvert versus an extrovert. Like I do like to just chill with my family at the house and stuff, but I can work a room and I can have a great time and have drinks and share stories and everything. And it builds those really long lasting relationships. So
Totally.
the KW mastermind or KW, what was the one in Austin? Mega Camp?
Family reunion, mega camp, one of those.
Mega Camp was the big one.
Yeah.
So when we went to Keller Williams, that summer, we all went down to Mega Camp, and that was my only KW event I ever went to. I actually didn't make it into any of the
actual conference.
but Austin's fun.
Yeah. Oh, I love that city.
But at one of the dinners, I met Bill Hagan.
Nice. Yep.
And I had never met him before. And he and I created this very long-lasting friendship ever since then. And we talk, at least once a month on long phone calls and stuff with one another, even though he lives only, 45, 50 minutes from us now. But when you talk about the referrals, just that alone, he and I mean, he brought me into a whole REO division with Jen Kuhn back in the day, where we were selling hundreds of homes through REO.
Yep.
We do a decent amount down by him now in Monmouth, but he does nothing up by us. So he's sending us stuff all the time, up this way. And that is just like, when you mention that, that's one person. Kyle Kovacs is another one I was hanging out with down in Austin. I knew him prior to that, but I didn't know him in the KW world.
Well, it's kind of like you mentioned, like there's so much information on YouTube that like you don't need to go to the conferences. True. And you could build relationships through like friending people on LinkedIn.
Right.
But the level of what you get learning wise and the level of what you get relationship wise is it's just better in person. Right.
Yeah.
So like that's, I think the real juice of uprooting your life for a week,
right?
Getting on a plane and doing all this stuff. Same thing where I can name half a dozen people off the top of my head like that. I was just in Madison, Wisconsin, and I met up with an agent that I met at a conference. Like, I don't know anyone in Madison, Wisconsin. Now I do, right?
Yeah.
And we got a good relationship. We're doing a couple similar things right now. We're sharing notes on things. So it's there's a lot of power in that as well. So all right.
I feel it's funny. So I feel like the COVID world made me like more anti-conference.
Yeah.
But now you're waking up this whole thing where like I was always at the Tom Ferry events, and I know Glenda Baker very well because she was my accountability
partner. You had 2 kids and COVID hit all within like it's kind of hard to prioritize conferences in that world. Right?
Going back.
We're doing it again. We're doing it. To that point, we're doing like we're doing happy hours and dinners and meetups and stuff like that. So it's a lot more fun as you're growing and expanding as well to kind of like become almost go to these things in a different way where we're hosting things now and like creating like moments.
It's even funny too. Like we have conference pros in our organization. So Jen Schiff, great COO, and here's a perfect example of like things I don't even think about.
Yeah.
But her and Sarah, they booked 2 tables for lunch on, I think it's Monday or Tuesday at the event, where, you know, when you're at a conference and everybody scrambles, where are they going to be going?
Yeah.
And we have a girl power and a guy power table for 15 each.
Yep.
And they made the reservations like 60 to 90 days ago. So we're just set up. So when
Yeah.
people are like scrambling, where are we getting lunch? We're like, oh, we're just going to be there at 12:30.
Yep. And we're not going to these things unintentionally anymore. Like we're doing it more intentionally, right?
Right.
And that's what evolves, I think, over time, and the growth that comes from that. And you might not as be pumped to and like needing to get into the rooms to learn about a specific topic, but the relationships you're going to get at that lunch, at the cocktail hour, at the party the day before, whatever the things are, almost become more valuable than some of the other things where earlier in our careers we were like devote in the room, writing the notes, going nuts, like chanting the scripts, all the things that were happening at those Mike Ferry events.
So I feel like for me at eXpcon, maybe I'll come out of there with like 10 new referral partners, or maybe people looking to align. Like I want to have some sort of an intention to come out of that.
Well, here we go. Here's the first thing on how to crush it.
We didn't get into the notes
These
yet.
are just why, man. This is why I go. Like, how do we crush it? How do we optimize? We got to go quick here. You want to identify what the heck you want to get out of the conference you're going to. I think too many people just go and just what's going on? Meet somebody or talk to somebody. Who do I want to like? What class do I want to go to? What am I trying to sharpen or pick up? What do you want to do when you get there? Like, what's one thing? Like, we're really big into this marketing, media, podcast stuff now. I have a couple classes already identified for marketing, media.
So you look at the schedule and you kind of figure out, okay, this is how I'm going to roadmap my journey down there.
Exactly. So you do both. I think you first like think of what do I want to get out of it, because it could be relationships, right? It could be prospects for some ancillary business you're starting. Like, you can go to conferences for any reason, really. Right. But I think without any intention at all, you're just flying blind, and you're not going to get like, there's no proactive approach on going there and really coming back with it from there.
I dig it.
So I think from that, like you run right into like what sessions you want to go to and who you want to like connect with, where if intention on all three of those things, what do you want to learn, what sessions and who, now you come back with actual value. And not just a hangover, which is what all too many real estate agents come back from conferences with. Right? For sure.
I hear you. Cue the sip of water.
Cue the sip of water. A lot of talking today. This also we kind of hit on as well, but I think it's really important, especially if you're going there for learning. Right. If you're going there for networking, maybe not as much. Schedule time to go over your notes, like Devoe did. Right. Like, if you're a note taker and you're going crazy, a lot of people come home, I think, and they have just 25, 30 pages of notes. They go on the shelf and that's it. But if you're scheduling time during the event and after to go through them and really be able to digest them, prioritize them, and be able to, figure out which ones you're going to make immediate impact, you're going to actually get something out of it rather than just a notebook full of ideas.
I feel like a really good accountability thing for somebody to have after that is to make sure that step gets followed through on, is to like schedule the follow-up outbound, like what are you going to teach based on what you learned? And that's
jump in my list.
All right, I'm going to stop. But when you came back from Zillow, that was super cool.
It's 100%. And the best way to learn things, right? I figure this is like been probably a million books that you and I both read over the years. Like, you learn it and then you like study it and then you teach it. Right. It's always that last way to cement in an idea so that it becomes part of you, so that when you're in a conversation with a client or another agent or whatever the case may be, the recall is right there because you like really cemented it in. So what I plan on doing is contributing to every team meeting for the next 2 or 3 sessions after this with 2 or 3 of my biggest takeaways. And I think Katie's coming, right? Katie was saying the same thing. She's like, I can't wait to share a next team meeting, any opportunity I have. So coming back and teaching, if you don't have a team, like, share it with your dog, right? Teach it with anybody, right?
Get on StreamYard alone, do it Instagram live.
Right. Like, share it out, make sure that you're taking the time to curate your ideas and share it. And the one thing that I'll give, this was kind of like my favorite thing about going to conferences and really gamifies it. Dan Voringer, back to Dan again, who pushed us all to go to the RE/MAX conferences. He'd send us with an NCAA bracket. And you put all your ideas. So you go through your notes and you're putting your ideas on these lines of the bracket. And then by the end of the conference or whatever you want to do with the plane ride home, you start playing them off each other. And you come back with one idea that you're going to execute no matter what. And then a final 4. And then you can work outwards like as you go, right? So you're not just a list of 25 ideas. Now you have a priority. And you kind of made it beat out the other priorities to be able to be the one that really makes the most sense to put into your business today. So nice. I love that idea. I'm going to print out a bunch of brackets and hand them out maybe when we're down there.
That's a good idea. We should get custom align brackets.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
A little marketing ad, put them out at the happy hour, right? I love it. All right. One more thing on this point over here. You just kind of mentioned it as well, but you like, don't be a secret agent. Post on social media when you're at these things. Like you can post your ideas and go live and share your ideas, but also just like let your community and your agents and your clients know that you're somewhere sharpening your skills. Like you're getting better. Like you're prioritizing growth and, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Value, adding value to your stack of kind of tools.
Yeah.
Right.
Your Swiss Army knife.
Exactly. You're adding more layers to it.
Yeah. No, I dig it. And that too is like something that I'll be sitting there, you know, again, my intention when I'm there is to build a decent network around people that I don't know, who I haven't met, get new people to lunch with us, that sort of thing.
Yep.
But also I know the amount of nuggets that I'm going to hear, which is on our like next podcast, the simple way to sell real estate, but getting into like the simplicity of it. There's so many things that in my history with events that I hear and I'm like, oh shit, I know that. And I totally forgot that even existed. So I'm looking for a lot of those little nuggets that I think will be like, wow, that was
come
awesome.
back too. So many things like you heard it, not at the right time.
Right.
And now you're hearing it again at a time where it's going to be more impactful to you. And that's why it's like, there's people that say, why do you keep going? Did you learn everything? Don't you know everything? Like, isn't that just repetitive? I hear something that I know I heard that 10 years ago. Boom, it makes more sense to me today. Right. Yep. Like there's a lot of those nuggets searching, which I think is super important as well.
Yeah. I always joke and say, I kind of say like the same 13 things every single day. So I'm looking to add a 14th to it.
I just say I'm a collection of other people's quotes that I repeat at the right times.
It's like the same couple answers I give to realtors, to clients. It's very robotic.
Wash, rinse, repeat, the whole thing, man. I love it. All right, couple more here. Not to be the buzzkill in the room. And I know we're going to go down and have some cocktails and have some fun. But like, just be intentional about that, because so many people I see that they go down with the intentions of growing and learning, and maybe they don't have those intentions at all, but they get blasted on the first night or two. And they literally get no value out of the entire event. Right. So I think like pick and choose your spots, like have fun, but also like if there's something that you want to prioritize, a speaker, a day, an event that you want to go to and be like in really good shape, don't like stay out till 3 a.m. the night before every night. I'm not trying. I know we're all realtors. It's going to happen. It's going to be nuts. There's going to be a lot of having fun that happens at these events. But I think if you just if you just go to everything and you're a hard yes to everything, you're wind up you might as well just went on a fun vacation. There's no point being at the conference. Right. So I think as I get older, maybe that's become something that's a little more priority to me. Dan used to also talk about Dan a lot this podcast, obviously, 'cause he pushed it. He used to have a rule. He used to buy his breakfast every morning. And if you got to that breakfast every morning, he'd reimburse you for a certain piece of the thing. If you missed one breakfast, you're on the hook for your whole thing by yourself. So he had like an accountability check-in every morning for the whole crew that went. And it was like a lot of rough faces at that breakfast every morning, but they got
made
there.
It. They made it.
Absolutely, man.
No, that I purposely am not staying. I'm staying at the Fountain Blue, where it's a 2 mile like Uber, and I don't want to be right there. I don't want to easily get pulled. You know, I want it to be annoying to have to go home so that when I leave, I'm done. And I feel like a lot of people, you know, have those late nights and they don't set up those. You're doing dry October. Still, right? So like even that, I've been away we did Scottsdale, which was an EXP one, and that was a dry January for me. And like I was asleep by 9 every night and feeling good.
I think it must have been last year too. It was sober October I was doing, and we were in Vegas. I didn't drink the whole time. I've met so many people, made so many good connections, and woke up, felt great. Went to the gym in the morning, felt, you know, didn't come home and need a 5-day break to like recoup from that, which is something that can happen if you just get after it too hard. Then you're home and you got 3 more days of recovery and it's killing your business, right? Like, the whole point of these conferences is to optimize your business. You want to kill your business, go on vacation, drink your face off and have fun. But like, I think you got to find the balance, and you can do it. Like there's a lot of relationships that are built at those drinks at night and stuff, but can you find a way to balance it? Right. Like, and do that.
Club soda with lime,
you know, every other one,
super hydrated,
super hydrated and keep it rocking and rolling. All right. What else do we have here? Last thing, I think we hit on all these kind of organically as we go. Something that I've really loved doing over the years, as we all get more plugged into social media, you'd always need a way to connect with people, right? You're bringing a business card, or you're going to give your cell phone number, or you can do one of these bracelets that you tap the thing and right. I just love following people on Instagram because I'm going to probably take that business card and forget it. I'm going to have an intention to go home and put in my CRM and work it. But if I just follow someone on Instagram, they follow me back. we're both posting. We're realtors, right? We're all posting all the time.
Yeah.
We build these natural organic relationships, and you stay in touch with them. Next time you see them, you feel like you know them so much more.
Yeah.
So I feel like the hands down best way to connect with people at an event is just connecting on social and following each other on social.
Yeah.
Leave the business cards home, because like, it doesn't even give you an excuse to use them. Just grab the social.
Yep.
Keep rocking.
No, definitely. And then too, you can like sort through when you get back from the event. Who did I follow the latest?
The most recent
These
followers.
are the 22 people from the event. Shoot them all a video. Start building that connection outside of there.
Absolutely. It makes it easier on the run, and it really like allows the system of social media to do its job.
Yeah.
You built them all there. So
Yeah.
those are, why and how to go to conferences, man. I feel like we hit some good points here. I'm excited to go to the conference a little bit more now. I'm not going to bring the golf clubs, which I'm sad about.
We get to come back and then unwrap it.
And we'll unwrap it and see
Yeah.
how all these points hit. So
I dig it, man.
all right, brother.
Thank you.
Good time. See you guys. If you guys have questions or topics you want us to hit on the next ones, we're going to set up a link because we don't have one yet. But eventually there'll be a link where you can click and go like, hey, talk to me about this. What do you guys think about this? How do you guys run on this topic or this thought? So we'll see you guys on the next one.